All right, peeps, what up? So Civ 6 here. Um, I haven't done a curated long form video in a while. Well, there's transparency. I burned out on them. Trying to cultivate them, writing the script and all that stuff. I know there's AI that could do it for me, and maybe one day I'll return to it. But with me going back to school, specifically creating curated videos like this, with the in-depth that I can go into with Civ 6 just wasn't there for me in the video editing and all that stuff. Just wasn't there. The video most of you probably are coming to see this from is, it took me about 3 hours to put together. So, a little bit of disclosure here and information. I'd much rather give it to you live and let y'all gain what you want from it, and then sit there and chop it all up and all that stuff. I might get clips and outros of this and post it on YouTube Shorts. I'm pulling back from TikTok because it's looking like it's going to be banned in the US. So it's not going to be great for me to put a lot of effort into there only for it to go poof. So a lot more of this content will be going into YouTube Shorts. Also, I apologize for my voice. I have chronic illness and I've been sick for the last month now, going on 2 months. So my voice is not great. Let's get into it. Start off with, I usually go in and create my own custom games rather than just going off it and off and just starting out. I usually go to the advanced. I prefer online game speed. Games go faster. Means that I'm not spending an eternity waiting for one thing to happen. I need to build one thing. I also prefer huge maps. But I'll dumb down the number of leaders to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's 8 total. Just gives us more, and I'll drop this usually down to around 12. Pushes, some shifting around, allows a little bit more expansion. Standard is fine. All those are fine. I usually go abundant for resources. Makes things a little bit more fun. You can go in here and do, because I'm using Expansions Gathering Storm, I have a couple of extra options here that I'm going to enable for this. If you have the base game, you won't see some of these. Heroes and Legends is fun. Monopolies and Corporations are fun. Secret Societies are fun. I enjoy them. A lot of people may not. Teach their own. I turn off Score Victory because I don't like a turn limit. I like being able to coast through the game, take as long as I need to without having this looming, ticking time bomb over my head. You are welcome to leave that on if you want. Having that on or off does not change what I'm about to go into in this video at all. Now, my preference usually is to turn off Religious Victory because I find it annoying. Just outright annoying to deal with. But I'm going to go for a Religious Victory in this series because it is my least favorite to do. There's so much micromanagement that I have to worry about, which means it's going to be a challenge and y'all are going to get to see me actually work for this. Science and culture are easy for me. They're pretty much, you sit back, let you do your own thing. Science, you can easily pivot into domination if you need to. And culture can easily pivot into diplomatic. In fact, actually, if you're not careful. Sometimes you may end up with a diplomatic victory instead of your cultural victory, just by nature of playing the cultural victory. So there have been times where I really wanted culture, and so I would intentionally dump my diplomatic points into taking away my diplomatic victory points so that I didn't get that victory. So, to each their own. I'm gonna go in here and grab some of these leaders you may not have. I don't know why I still have that. I turned off the, those mods, but I'm gonna go with Melanik the second from Ethiopia. You may not have some of these leaders, depending on what edition you have. Saladin's another good one. If you want to do a religious victory, I think it's this one here. Madrasa, or actually I may go with him to see. No, I want Melanik, yeah. So I prefer continents map. Few large land masses. Actually, I'm gonna go continents and islands because I do like islands. They're nice little niche things that you can throw in there. Little fortresses or areas that you can grab for territory control waterways and such. And yeah, we'll start the game.
From the first stirrings of life beneath water, to the great beasts of the Stone Age, to man taking his first upright steps, you have come far. Now begins your greatest quest. From this early cradle of civilization.
While we load in here, I'm gonna go fill up my water bottle. I'll be right back.
Menelik II, great king and emperor. You have a vision for your people. You will build both friendships and factories, alliances and railways, and use your wits and your wisdom to bring Ethiopia into a bright and free future.
Let me adjust my mix sample on this, because this music combination is gonna drive me nuts. Give me a second here. Lower it a little bit for you guys as well. There we go. All right. That's actually a really good starting spot for a city. Normally, I'd like to try and shop around and see if I can get a coastal tile. I don't think I'm going to be able to do that this time, so we'll plant it early. This is kind of nice because I do get a little area here I can put a science campus and get adjacency bonuses for. First things first, so this is my personal preference, and this is usually how I end up going about this. I usually, personally, bum rush, look at the tech tree here, irrigation. That hanging gardens increases growth in all cities by 15%. Absolutely crutch if you're going for science and culture, because those are based off population. Alternatively, if you really are going for science, go writing and then irrigation. Either way, you need pottery first, so pottery is my first technology that I get. If you're going for more of a military or domination, I would go mining first, followed by pottery, and then writing, because or mining to bronze working, and then take these two. Simply because that way you have the science to back up your military production, but you already have a strong start on the military front. That's usually how I start. I don't start these two unless I am well and truly on an island, and I won't start like this will be my second one this time, but this one I only get first if I'm going the Maori people. I think it's pronounced Maori people, because you automatically start with them. All right, for my queue, I usually go scout first, to a builder, to a slinger, to a monument, to a scout, to a builder. And that usually, and I'll throw another warrior in there if I start encountering barbarians. So usually how I start those out. Gives me a solid foundation. The scout lets me find things around the area, while the builder lets me start improving stuff early, but it gives me enough time to start getting improvements, the ability to make improvements based on tech. What's this? I think that's T. We'll see. Nope. Olives. Okay. And I usually do a spiral around just to see what's in the area. Okay. These guys, I never manually do them. I set them to automate. They are a unit that I don't care enough about to really beeline for anything in particular. I'll get notifications if they encounter tribal villages, in which case I'll manually control them. But as a general rule, I could give two shits what they do. They are there to reveal the map for me. So it might be a hot take, but it's the truth. That's how I view them. And we have ocean, so probably about 3 turns it would have taken me to get there, which would have delayed my capital, but I can put a settler there pretty soon. And see, just like that, I discovered a new continent, and we have barbarians. Okay, so I need to pull it back. All right, so One of the things I'll go into really quickly here, because it was asked of me, particularly by someone specifically on TikTok, is governments. So once we're done with Code of Laws, I can pull that up for you and show you the government bonuses and stuff like that. Next one I'm gonna do is astrology, because I want to start that faith production early. Rebel Village, case in point. So, I really don't want him to be able to get back to here, because that'll let his camp know where I'm at, and I'll start having barbarian raiders. I don't want Void Singers. I'm just not interested in them. This won't apply, of course, if you have the base game. It doesn't give me any benefit right now. Am I going? Yeah, I'm gonna go to lane. Lane. Right. I think it's Liang, yeah. Back to automation. Cool. Owls of Minerva is one that I enjoy, generally speaking. If you've got this DLC, you don't get to see it, but they are really economically based. Give you lots of improvements for your economy and some wildcard policy slots. So Void Singers, if I remember correctly, are actually, let me double check them. They're not the ones I think they are. I know they focus on religion. I don't normally go with them. Let me look at what they give you real quickly, because I don't know this off the top of my head. And yeah, why not? We'll go with Void Singers this game. We'll mix it up, right? They do provide some decent religious bonuses, so. Okay.
At his best.
All right. Do foreign trade. Now we get governments. So, we need governments. One of the early things I was specifically requested. In fact, actually, let me pull it up to answer this specifically. All right. Government bonuses properly. All right. So every government type provides 2 bonuses, and depending on what DLC you have, there's a I believe it starts with the second or with the first DLC. There are legacy bonuses you can get for having it, depending on what building you build in your diplomatic quarter. But autocracy is really good if you want Classical Republic can too, but for different reasons. Is really good if you want to get a cultural victory. Early on, that 10% production towards wonders seems like a little bit, but is really good. And then it can give you a slight edge on other players that may be looking for other victories, such as science or domination, and so they're just building the wonders because they provide a specific bonus. Autocracy provides a nice bonus across the board of that 10% early on. It allows you to build things like the pyramids early, which is a good one. Hanging Gardens, those two are, in my opinion, the top two wonders early game. Pyramids gives your builders extra builds. And of course, the Hanging Gardens gives your heroes, if you have it, extra lifespan, and it gives your population growth and increase. The +1 to all yields from them is nice. It's relatively small, but it's good early. But this 10% production towards wonders is the key there. Classical Republic is good if you really want great people. And again, that was another one that can work towards that culture or science victory. It tends to lean more towards science because you get a lot of the science, great scientists faster with that increase in production. The additional housing and additional amenity are good because housing penalties and amenity penalties are really important in this game. You start suffering those penalties and you start falling behind really fast if you're not paying attention to them and trying to stay on top of them. They start impacting everything from science production to population growth to happiness to loyalty, even if you have the Rising Tide, I believe it is the DLC. Oligarchy is great if you want to go for domination. Just outright start Oligarchy. You get increased combat strength and your unit experience is increased by 20%, meaning you get those promotions and those levels up a lot faster. Moving on to Theocracy. Theocracy is what you really want if you're going for a religious victory. That's what I'm going to beeline for. Gives you an increased discount on purchases with my faith, and that's a big one because a lot of your faith units, they're not produced like your military units. You actually have to purchase them with faith. They're not produced. So having that cost knocked down 15% is really great. Bonus, you get increased religious strength and theological combat, which is going to be crucial if you're trying to go for that religious victory. You don't want other people spreading their victories. Think Spanish Inquisition. Pretty much all you're doing all game is Spanish Inquisition. You're spreading your religion. You're taking out other religions. Merchant Republic is again, that one sits in either it can actually go to multiple. It's kind of a jack of all trades because it gives you just flat production towards districts. So it's good if you're expanding rapidly for science or culture because you can build those theater districts, those campus districts really quickly, really easily. It can work for faith, but it doesn't provide, in my opinion, as much of the benefit versus the discount and purchases. And it works great for domination to get your encampments built faster. It does benefit your domination just a little bit more because it increases your gold production in all cities with an established governor, which anyone that has played this for long, any of the Civ games knows, and anyone that's actually paid attention to history, maintaining a large standing military for a domination victory in this game or large standing military period is expensive. It's not cheap. You have unit upkeep costs to keep in mind. So having that increased gold production is really, really nice. And then you have Monarchy. I don't go Monarchy very often. It's great, I guess, for a diplomatic victory because you get those +2 diplomatic favor for every Renaissance wall that you build, but it relies heavily on you focusing on building the wall, walling up your cities. It gives you influence points, which is great towards, I guess, city-states, but Monarchy is not one I go very often or have very much interest in, and a lot of times, regardless of what victory I'm going for. Communism, hands down, is your science victory. I mean, yeah, that 10% increase in science, you can't beat it. And it gives you increased production per citizen in cities with governors. So similar to how science and culture by default are half a point per citizen, you get 0.6 points per citizen in production, which is really nice because, like, for example, and I'll show you the leader if you have the expansion. He gives you, basically ups your science production to roughly, I think it was 1.5 science per citizen in the city he's in. And you increase that production, you can build your science buildings faster, you can build military units faster, defend it if you need to. It just is all around a good production to have. Allows you to, and because campuses and space districts, all districts are production based, that increases the speed at which you produce districts in that city. So it's good. Fascism, of course, domination victory, hands down. Increased military combat strength, can't pass that up if you're going against other units. War weariness is a really big problem when you're doing a lot of wars. You have a war on multiple fronts. It starts to hinder your production, it hinders your gold, it hinders your loyalty, it hinders your amenities. It hits you hard after a while. So having that reduced by 15% is massive. I can go into war weariness another day and how that works. If y'all want, I can do another short stream and cover that and a couple of other things. But 15% production towards units is huge come late game. Some of your units are going to take a while to build. Battleships, especially in newer cities, battleships, tanks, etc. So that 15% or 50% production increase, massive. Democracy. Democracy is good for a diplomatic victory, in my opinion. Doesn't give you nearly any benefit for domination, in my opinion. But it works well for like I said, diplomatic victories, but it can also work really well for your culture victories. That increased trade route yields are pretty nice. Discount on purchases with gold, meaning you could, in theory, buy, your theater buildings. So your what's its name? Amphitheaters, your museums and stuff and such can be purchased cheaper. Your monuments, etc. If you don't automatically get a monument when you sell your city. The fourth and final tier. This is where things get a little pick and choosy. This really comes down to more of a preference thing, in my opinion. Some people choose to go with them and take the hits because they're doing so well. Oftentimes, if I'm going for a science victory, I'll stick with communism and I'll just leave it there. I don't need a lot of those additional bonuses later on. But if the game goes late enough, I will eventually pick one up because I can get the legacy bonus for communism, fascism, or democracy. But the digital democracy works well for culture because it gives you additional amenities, gives you additional culture per specialty district. And I think if you have the max population, you manage to get all your districts, that's something like 16, 20, I want to say, culture per turn for that. Of course, the downside is you lose 3 combat strength for all units, regardless. Corporate libertarianism, you take a hit for science. So if you're going for a science victory, unless you're really producing a lot, that may not be what you want. But it's great for production. And if we look over here, and accumulating resources, so that works well if you're going for a military victory because you get increased production, so more can build units faster, and you get increased resource accumulation. So aluminum, uranium, and coal, those are going to be big ones. Or actually, not even coal come late game, but oil, are going to be big ones late game for what you need. Synthetic technocracy. I think that's how you pronounce that. That one's going to be your science victory one. You're going to go for it. You're going to take a hit for tourism, but if you're going for a science victory, you're not going for culture victory, so you don't care about tourism as much. You get increased power. You get power in all cities by default, which is pretty nice because power increases production, and you get 30% production towards all city projects. So that includes your space race projects. That includes your launch, such as launching a satellite and such, what you need for your science victory. So that includes projects like the Manhattan Project, where you get nukes. So it's a good one for a science victory. They're not by any means necessary to get your victories, these final 3, but they are helpful, each in their own way. All right, back to this. Fill policy slots. I usually go for this because barbarians are just a pain in the ass. And I'm going to go for additional faith and gold in the capital because I'm going for a religious victory. Can't do anything with him yet, but I'm going to see if I can buy a territory. Yep, there we go. Now I can go send him over here to create a farm. Unit needs orders. Alert. There's the scout. I'm going to try and intercept him with my barbarian, with my warrior.
I don't believe in astrology.
All right. I gotta remember. Okay, so animal husbandry would be good. Let's go animal husbandry. Because we do have a resource for it. I don't have anything yet for mining other than this, the hills, so. Cool new city state. If a barbarian scout does see your city, right, they're going to try and run back to let their barbarian, run back and put in quotes, to let their barbarian camp know where it is. If you destroy them before they get there, you'll reduce the chance of there being barbarian raids on your city. So. Usually, starting out these games are not the most exciting unless you're going for domination.
Every nation lives by
because you're not really doing a whole lot. I want this because I want the rock-hewn church. It's a really good improvement. I use queuing because then I don't have to micromanage every time. I can work on other things and just move on. Attention to other things on the map, generally speaking. I actually put a settler in here? No. I need one. I didn't say that, did I? I actually like this song, which is why I'm doing this real quickly. Okay. Cool. Now I get to choose a pantheon. This is where things are going to be kind of important for me to decide where I'm going to go with this. City Patron Goddess would be good because I can increase production towards my first holy site. I mean, Monument to the Gods is good too. Considering where I'm starting out, and considering where I'm putting my there, I give it an additional +1. You know what? Let's go City Patron.
The man who has grit enough to...
This is something I mentioned. Unit maintenance costs. You get on the warrior, you'll see it doesn't have one yet, and you'll see it there. Once you get past warriors and slingers, that's where you start having your penalties to or your unit costs come into play. Oh, here, while I'm remembering, that was not what I meant to do, but cool. Is it banana? Yep, banana plantation. Okay.
Look back over the past.
I got 9 turns to up that error score. Okay. Hmm. Farming 3. Breathtaking 5. Yeah. Right there. So, what I was looking at there, and I'll explain that. Every tile has an appeal. If I hover over this, you'll see that it says appeal breathtaking 5. That 5 is your base housing modifier. So, for example, my city right here. Appeal average. I got no bonus for settling where I did to my housing. But because I am settling... Actually, I can pull up the lens here. Let's go settler. You'll notice that your water type here provides you a key. So I can't settle too close. You can't settle within 4 hexes of another city, period, of a city's center. For example, if somehow my territory was all the way out here, I could settle right here, right next to it. I don't know why you would, but you could. And there's also a loyalty difference to that once you start getting into that, but we're not there yet. Coastal tiles, like you see here, only provide an additional 1 housing for settling there. So I think cities start with 2, if I remember correctly. Let me double check this. Okay, base setting, I was right, it was 2. All right, so if I was to settle my city right here with an average of 1 appeal and 1 coastal water tile for fresh water, I would have a total of 4 base housing in that city. Doesn't give you a lot of room to grow. You're gonna need housing buildings pretty quickly for that. Let's see here. Charming 3, so that would give me a coastal tile of 1, so that gives me 3, plus 3, that gives me 6. Now, you can get up to a total of 10 if, for example, see, modifier -2, you'd lose 2 housing there. However, if, say, this tile wasn't a oh, excuse me, that was average, not -2. Say this tile was a 5, right? Appeal, breathtaking, 5. Or I think it's 5, yeah. Yeah. 5, right off the top right there. It has fresh water, which gives an additional 3, that makes 8. And you have your base 2, that gives you 10 housing to start with, which is a huge, nice cushion to give your cities when you start. So tile appeal and fresh water are both key to planning where your cities are going to go. Sometimes you may not have that choice. Sometimes you may look at something and you're like, oh shit, you know, I really want this bonus right here for science. That would give you an adjacent bonus of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, because of 4 mountains. And you're like, okay, so I'll take the hit and go charming. Or if this was an ocean tile, I'll take the hit and go, you know, nothing. Maybe there's no fresh water, which means you get no housing bonus. You get a -1 on that one. But you would, sometimes you have to pick and choose, you know, the strategic value of what you're planning to place in that city or around that city. Or like, for example, in this case, putting a campus right there. Is that worth the hit to housing, having to focus on housing? Or is it better to place like what I'm doing, which is appeal breathtaking and +1. So what, that's 6, 8 housing to start with? Or is the 8 housing better to start with? It takes a little bit of planning, and it'll take a little bit of work for you to get used to and decide what you want to do. And each instance is going to be different. Some cities you're going to sacrifice the housing, other ones you're going to prioritize it. There are districts that give you more housing, such as the aqueduct, the neighborhood, which is later on in the game. Both of those will give you housing. In fact, neighborhood will give you, for example, if I were to build my city, say here. Actually, let's not go there. Let's appeal -1. Here, let's say right here. And I left this alone. I could put a neighborhood here, which would give me an additional 5 housing when I built it. So I think there's a +6 tiles, but it's usually only next to natural wonders, if I recall correctly. So just reiterating on what I built on with the housing video that I did a while ago. Yeah, now I can go here. Unit needs orders. This might be a little bit longer than an hour-long video, but trying to make my exploration. Cotton, nice amenities there. Actually, both of those, once I get I believe it's currency, I can create an industry based on those. For context, neighborhoods are all the way down. Down here? Globalization? No. Pretty sure they're down this way. Maybe I was wrong. Ah, right here, urbanization. I went past it. That's where your neighborhoods are. Yeah, so breathtaking provides a +6 housing. That's what I got the 6 from. So it's 5. So it provides a base 1 housing, or a +4, and then again, breathtaking +6. So it's pretty nice. Great for getting those large cities for like science or culture victories, because you need high population cities. I talked about it in my TikTok video. And on oh, there's a barbarian encampment. I talk about it on my TikTok video for housing that no, I met someone cool.
Por encima de todo, somos fieles devotos de la única y verdadera.
I talk about it there, but
Writing is easy.
oh, this isn't good. Just wipe this off the face of the earth real quick. Sorry, I got distracted there. What was I talking about? Something to do with housing. I'll get back to it, and it'll come back to me eventually. Oh, in Civ 5 and Civilization Revolution, 2 earlier games I played, you were penalized for having expansive empires, for both culture and science. And it wasn't that you were outwardly penalized, but it was that the cost of future technologies and future cultural milestones increased by 15%, but at certain population milestones. So the more population you had, the more expensive it was to research newer technologies, etc. Which meant you were to get those victories, you wanted smaller city, you wanted fewer cities, or I think it was not solely based on population. I think it was based on number of cities, basically is what it was. So you wanted fewer cities, small empires with high population. In Civ 6, they decided we're not going to penalize you for that. You actually get more benefit having a more expansive empire with higher population in those cities than you do having a small empire with just 5 cities. Say 3 cities with 25 population isn't going to be nearly as beneficial for you for a science victory as 5 cities with 10 population. Oh, and I mentioned Pengala real quickly. I think that's how you pronounce his name. He gives you an additional science per turn for each citizen, or 1 culture per turn, which means that you go from 0.5 science per citizen to 1.5, which is massive. And like you put that in your largest city, so you have a capital of 25 people. Instead of getting roughly 12.5 science per turn off population alone, you're suddenly earning 37.5 science per turn. Like, it's massive, and that's his first upgrade. Plus, he gives you additional bonuses towards great people generation in the city. He's really good. If you're going for science or culture, he is by far the best governor to have. My warrior is definitely no match for that horse archer, which tells me I'm also fairly far behind on the tech tree. Yeah, it's fine. I'm not going for tech right off the rip, so I probably lose here.
When you find yourself
So this is a sneaky one that I enjoy, the printing press. Gives you an additional wildcard policy slot. But I think I'm gonna decide here what will give me the best bonus to my religious victory early. Go shipbuilding. don't know, celestial navigation. And I have a reason for that. Because that'll allow me to start being able to send units across water, which will allow me to spread my religion. Well, yeah. Rapid industrialization, but if I'm going for religious victory, industrialization will be useful, but not nearly as useful as, hang on. I'm getting distracted here, I know this. Additional, yeah. It won't be nearly as useful early on, for the religion as much as I want to go for the ability to spread faster. That whole ability to allow land units to embark means I get to spread religion faster. After that, I go for industrialization. But I want to be able to get my units across the water as fast as possible, because the faster you start hitting cities with your religion, the faster you win this, because playing catch up is a pain in the ass with religion. It's an absolute nightmare. I hate it. I also need bronze working stat. But what the fuck? Cool, I guess. Get some mines built. Oh, someone beat me to the Hanging Gardens by a turn. Alright, well, that was annoying. But it automatically gave me my temple, so I guess there's small bonuses, right? Alright. Shrine. Get another settler going in the queue then. Builder and galley. Although you do make a valid point. If I was going for domination or even science victory, that rapid industrialization would be absolutely crucial. Like there's zero debate about that. I am kind of on my own little spit of area out here. Okay, actually really nice.
All the world's a stage, and all the men.
All right, what do we got here? I'm not really worried about that right now. Make a dedication. Chose Wolin because I want to be able to, it'll start progress towards Oxum as a trade route, but I also wanted to go to Wolin because Wolin's a pathway to Madrid, and if I can get those roads going fairly well, and this is why I held on to this.
Mysticism is the...
like that. Boom, bada boom, bada bing. Ooh.
Can you imagine trying to talk 600 people into helping you drag a 50-ton stone 18 miles across the countryside and muscle it into an upright position, and then saying, right lads, another 20 like that, then we can party? Set your course
By the way, for those curious, that is Sean. I believe it's Sean Bean, his last name. That is him as the narrator. It's pretty cool. Nope, I don't want that. I did not want that. We'll do Shinto as the name. Ooh. The food and housing is actually kind of huge. Let's go with this. I talk about how important housing is. Let's go with that.
Man suffers only.
For those curious, yes, your scouts do pet the dog. Cool. This is what I call what is about to be a dick move.
I shot an arrow into
Without crafts.
I have completely closed off this waterway then. And if you're don't have open borders with me, you can't get across that. So anyone that settles over here is penned in, and any city I put here can't be gotten to unless they go through my territory first. So it's yeah, it's kind of a dick move to do, and depending on where you put it, but I would love to ignore my need for building defenses, but it's a Civ. It's not going to go that way at all, ever. So maybe we found a barbarian camp. Okay.
A strong economy.
So I mentioned unit costs. If you look at my archer, you'll notice that its maintenance is 1 gold. That is 1 gold per turn for each archer that I have to spend. You can check your unit maintenance costs by over here. I'm generating 13.5 gold from cities. I'm expending 2 gold per turn for units and 1 gold per turn for the city. You can see what is costing that gold by going here, going to oh, and I have -1 amenities. It is, I believe, what is causing me to spend this one? Just one of them is costing me money, but anyway, you notice here I am losing amenities. So what that means, having a low number of amenities means I have reduced citizen growth and reduced non-food yields. So like gold production, etc. Actually, I'm going to talk to him. He does not have any amenities for me. Games and Rec is what we're going to go for next because of that.
I'm also interested. Several closely situated granite peaks resembling tiger's teeth.
Oh, Maui's really strong. Spearman also costs, gold per turn. I need an escort for my settler because I want to put it here. Dorsdale Pain is going to be a nice place to settle my city near. Lots of housing bonuses nearby, and it provides sinus bonuses. So
when wasteful war shall...
If bread is the first...
That's funny.
John Curtin, I speak for the...
That is funny. Cleared a barbarian camp without meaning to. Well, there's research there I can't see then. Probably aluminum or uranium right there. Or coal.
Politics is the art of the pot.
All right, so go with this. Like I said, these first like 50 turns are usually like the slowest for any of them. I'm almost to a golden age, nice.
I cannot imagine any condition which would...
I want the amenity for my capital. That's why I swapped that right there. This one can take her. This one has a couple of amenities already around it, so
consists.
now I'm always just gonna go fight fucking barbarians because I've used up all those charges. So, all right. Remember how I was mentioning industries? That's what I'm about to create here as an industry. Now, by the way, if you want to know another dick move you can do in the situation that I've got here, cities by default
swift ship in the form of a dolphin.
have a 2 range for bombardment from walls. Pretty sure it's 2, might be 3. So, if you want to be a dick, you put your encampment right there. Encampments also have that. Now, anyone that wants to cross my strait here ends up in between the combined fire of both my encampment and my city, as well as any units in between. I control a hold on this entire inlet right here. It was a strategy we often employed in World War II. You see it all throughout Finland, Sweden. Both of them were really good with using it. Russia uses it in a lot of places. In fact, actually, Puget Sound, Washington State. Here, I'll pull it up for you. This is actually something kind of cool. This was called, I don't know if it'll appear over here. Well, we'll see. All right, so welcome to Washington State. We're gonna ignore Indian Island here. This is a naval battery. Not important to this, but what you have over here is Fort Casey, which is a really cool place. If you've never been, I highly recommend it. But these are 105mm guns right here. There was also a battery here. So there was several batteries here. Fort Casey, the main one over here. This was your command barracks over here, and where they had all the firing orders. This is another firing command. Whole bunch of batteries here, smaller batteries down here. You had your barracks over here, barracks, etc. Whole thing. Then you had Fort Worden. This is called the we often call it the Lethal Triangle. But you had Fort Worden over here, which also had batteries, and then you had Fort Flagler. The 3 of these together, from the 1800s to the end of World War III, provided our key defense to Puget Sound, which held. And the reason this was done this way is because in Puget Sound you had PSNS over here, Naval Shipyard. The original Naval Shipyard was only like this area right here, and they've since expanded it. But you had PSNS, which was where they built a bunch of aircraft carriers. There's a whole bunch of historic pictures of a lot of the battleships from Pearl Harbor that survived. Some of the ones that, the few that did, were actually towed back to PSNS and remade here. We built, not a lot of aircraft carriers were built here, but a lot of like frigates, destroyers, battleships were built or serviced at Puget Sound Naval Shipyard. You also had, all the way down here in Tacoma, Tacoma used to be a big major naval port, which is where they produced several aircraft carriers, is down here in Tacoma. Then you also had Seattle, and right down here, Harbor Island, where actually you now have, where is it? Coast Guard Auxiliary Base. That's not what, where is it? It's Vane, right here. You don't see it. It's not very mentioned, but Vigor works out of here now. But you had Naval Base Seattle, and you also had if I remember correctly, you had like 2 naval bases in Seattle, and then you had over here in Everett, you had no naval base. Don't know where it is over here, but I know Everett has a naval base as well. Yeah, Naval Station Everett right here. So you had 1, 2, 3, 4 naval bases in there, and these are the biggest naval bases on the West Coast. Your next largest naval base is all the way down here in San Diego. Should they see Vandenberg or San Diego? Welcome to Coronado, Naval Base San Diego. Big, huge fucking naval base. Anyway, so those were your only 2 West Coast naval bases outside of, you guessed it, Pearl Harbor. Where is it? Come here. That's Hawaii. Yeah, where's Pearl Harbor? I know it's along. Where is Pearl Harbor? I swore Pearl Harbor was on the big one. You know what? Fuck it. You don't let me? Oh, I was on the wrong island, that's why. So, on Honolulu. But then you have Pearl Harbor. Joint Base Pearl Harbor, heck, That was our largest, that was our westernmost largest military base. And then, of course, you had a couple of smaller ones. There's Wake Island, which is, no, nature preserve. Wake Island is somewhere over here. Marshall Islands had a naval base over there. Pretty sure, anyway. Wake Island, right here. Wake Island's an interesting little one. This is totally digression. I'm going to go back, I promise. But Wake Island was also a airfield, emergency airfield, and naval base. You can see they used to do testing out here. They tested THAAD out here. But this used to be a naval station, and you can kind of see remains of piers out here. They had to dredge out part of the island here so that they could get ships in to do part of it. New channel, Wilkes Channel. Yeah. Whole bunch of old naval station. You can look up a whole bunch of old pictures, but that was another naval station. Wake Island actually was, if I remember correctly, invaded by the Japanese, or there was a fight there, if I remember. Anyway, enough of that. But again, same concept that you had for Puget Sound. You place your encampment there, and you've got yourself a pinch point. No one can get in and out without being attacked by both of those. A little bit of history lesson for you there that you probably didn't expect to see. All right, so I completed that. I want temple, followed by walls, and then what do I want here? Probably an encampment, to be honest. You know what? I do want it on these hills, because that'll provide a defensive bonus, and it stops him, or starts to deter him from approaching on me. Forward settling is another thing you got to be worried about if you're playing with other players, and even AI to a degree. In fact, actually, there's someone who was in my chat earlier who's really notorious for forward settling. It's one of the reasons playing with my brother is such a pain, because my brother will do the exact same shit. Well, forward settle you, so like
I've lived through some
forward settling essentially and roughly was like, oh, he's settling here. I can see he's creeping over here. I'm going to place a city right here so he can't go any further. That's it in a nutshell. I'm sure there's more nuances that if someone really wanted to argue the point, they could. It's not the point of this stream. Promote. Cool. Unit needs orders. This. So it increases industries, or it increases the food and production stuff, but it also means that later on I can create a company based on it. And yeah, it's all around a good thing to have is to have those. Unit needs orders. Don't care. Don't think I want to fight you or hit on them just yet. But with you here, now that I can get a flanking bonus, yes. I believe this gives me, yeah, one more turn I can get flanking bonuses. It's awesome, actually.
I don't underrate the...
There we go. So you see, I get a flanking bonus of a +2 on that. Not necessarily ideal for me to attack that, but with Maui getting that flanking bonus. See how it made a difference. Maybe not as large as, one would have hoped, but it made a difference. Yep. Gonna add another settler to this. You got to kind of be careful, because unless you're using, if you have governors and if you have the governor's DLC and you have Magnus and have him upgraded, unless you have him, each settler you build takes away one population city, which impacts production, science, and culture. So you got to be kind of, you could spend every turn after you reach 2 citizens in your capital, or could spend every one of those moments sending out settlers and dropping it back down and back down and back down, but you're going to struggle long term because you don't have a solid capital base, if you will. It's 8. So I can build an encampment, which is fine. I need one more turn, I think. I think it's 3, 5, 7, so I might be able to build another one. It's 3, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3. 2, 3 here. We'll add a campus there while we're at it. Give me some science production. So, see the Sarah score down here? This means when the era ends next turn, I'll get a golden age. However, because it's over that, significantly over that, my next golden age requirements, normal golden age requirements are going to be even higher than they would be if I just reached the golden age. So, where the fuck did I get pinged? Cool. Secret Society advanced.
Without mathematics,
Let's slow down some of their military production while we're at it. Wait, was it? Yeah. Oh, minus 50. Damn. Someone definitely wants domination. Choose civic. Gonna automate the galleys so it'll explore waterways for me. I'm gonna hold off on appointing him until I get my next new city built. Actually, we're gonna go through here and go to the settler. I want a forward settlement because I don't want Barcelona expand. I don't want Spain expanding too further into this northern territory up here. So what we're gonna see here now that we have another civilization here with a governor. This is your loyalty. So it's the influence of nearby cities and their impact on their influence of your city. Now, how essentially the loyalty is how loyal a city is going to be to you. The more loyalty it loses per turn, the more likely it is it'll flip to whatever civilization is impacting it the most. You can offset that by governors. Governors give loyalty. There are policies that can give loyalty. There are districts and such that give loyalty. So there are ways to counter it, but you know, placing my city right here at minus 20 loyalty is going to mean it's going to flip pretty quickly. But I want to forward settlement. But I don't. I want a decent bonus for science. I mean, for religion, though. I could move Lang. Actually, no, I can move Lane. Let me look at what's this. PO. Average. Breathtaking. Charming. Right. I could place it right there. Right there's my best spot. Yeah. All right. Here's what I'm gonna do. Now I've plotted it out. I know where that's gonna go. So if I'm gonna go to Harar now, I'm gonna do some planning. We'll go here, just add a campus there. And then harbor. We'll put harbor over here. And then because we have a harbor there, we're going to place commercial hub there. Harbor and commercial hub feed off each other to give each other bonuses. Really good combination together. But I am going to purchase a builder for this. And then, yeah.
The natural history of this
Oh,
archipelago.
let's go. There we go. I want to claim the Galapagos Islands. I am a natural wonder whore in that regard. Oh, fuck you. Sure, 16 gold for 30 turns. I'll take it. Oh, let's go. Actually, that is huge. I settle there and I can also push control of this. I can put a fort there and I can control anything coming into here. Oh, ooh. Naval ships can only heal in friendly territory, so.
An architect should look. Sometimes the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord made in democracy.
Sang gitar jata aku.
Okay, now it begins. Now we get to start doing, like... Now we get to start doing religious victory things. scout there.
Tactics mean doing.
سم اسبان بار دیگر
Yeah. I'll produce another one. Another one. Already.
One man's, it's all papers and...
life is...
All right, let's see. Let's go for the printing press. There we go. And we have begun. Pretty soon Spain will belong to Shinto. Let's do this. I'm actually really excited to keep going with this one. Let's look at this. Religious victory, I am leading. Cool. Shit. Okay.
Sira ngodohi pasif.
I need to go to theological war over
In a
here.
dusty, bustling court, I'd imagine the whole world.
What up, psych? Well, if you want my honest to God truth, this actually is the fastest I've done so far with religion. I'm about to convert my first entire civilization to my to Shinto within a matter of under 100 turns, which is wild for me. Unit needs orders. 10? Okay. That's it. We're going to war. Time for the Crusades, boys. I need to send a Inquisitor over there. Oh, yeah. No, I'm totally down. I promised someone on TikTok or my comments that I'd show them the government bonuses and how those work because they just got the game. So that's part of what prompted this, but I'm totally down. I'll end up streaming also later tonight for Tarkov. I believe I did, yes. Yeah, I believe I did. I'll double check that when I get in. If not, I have a 105 I can get you. Oh yeah, we could run a couple of games of Arena before, get some warm up going.
can't go around arresting the thief.
Last holdout, Madrid. Oh, we're about to do it.
I conclude then this point.
Gonna have to go for that one too. All right. Once we get Madrid converted, I will might be able to do 2 cities by the time I get Madrid converted, or 2 civs.
What gunpowder did for war?
So, for those that didn't catch it, the Forbidden City gives you an additional wildcard policy slot, which is really good for getting your governments upgraded. Speaking of which, I'm almost a theocracy.
I don't like to commit myself.
And now we have our theocracy. Sorry, I'm not giving him Maui at all.
The 4 building blocks.
I'll put it here. Come on. There we go.
If you see a castle under...
To cartography. Another engineer. We'll have 11 out of Madrid, out of the 18 there, or 19 there. Okay. Well, I think this is off to a good start. In about 10 minutes, I'm going to wrap up the stream. I'll be on maybe later tonight with some Tarkov over on my Tech Panda FPS channel for YouTube.
There are very honest people.
That medication. Oops. Sorry, I'm responding to some messages here. I thought so. There's another city over here. Would be a shame if it was Shinto.
Not all who wander.
And this most likely means that he can never get Islam up and going again. Because any of the ones he makes will probably be Shinto. As he can somehow get a city that doesn't have a founder that doesn't have a religion, and then he might be able to. But I think I've just basically made sure that he can't convert the world to Islam. Or not the world, but any of his any other cities to Islam. Are there any other cities over here? No, I think that's the entirety of his cities. I think I've got this religious emergency in the back here. I think this is where I'll wrap this up. Or at least this part. I'll probably stream this again because this has been pretty fun. But sweet and sweet. I don't mind having increased trade direct capacity. That actually works really well in my favor because now I can send another one to Harar. Send envoy. No, I don't want this. Because I have a really bad feeling that if this doesn't go the way he wants, he may declare war on me down the road. Fuck it. Let's go find someone else got to it before I did. Okay. That doesn't make me happy, but it is what it is. Builder 145, okay. We're gonna send my missionaries out and go see what we can find over there. Oh, I did say a 1 hour rundown on this, didn't I? Whoops. Damn it, okay. So I think this is we're gonna pause this one here. We're in a good state. We've got 1, 2 civilizations already converted. I can come back and resume this. I may do this later in the week. Wednesday will be an iffy day for me to start classes again. Thursday I might actually do an early day stream like this again and go in and stream some more of this, continue to see if we can't get a victory going. I mean, we're off to a solid start, turn 103, and we've already got 2 civilizations entirely converted, and we're sitting at an excess of almost 1,500 religion. So yeah. All right, folks. I am oof, my throat. Gonna call it here. And I will talk to you all maybe later tonight. I'll stream some Tarkov. It'll be live here on Twitch and over on my FPS YouTube channel. So as always, folks, stay dangerous. Catch you all next time.